Welcome to the Stoicgoldentribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of presence and where we uncover the truths modern society refuses to teach men. In a world flooded with distractions, most men have forgotten how to read the silent language, the glances, the posture, the subtle movements that speak louder than words. Especially when it comes to women, a man's inability to read her body language can cost him everything, from missed connections to emotional confusion to wasted years chasing someone who was never truly open in the first place. But what if I told you there are 4 primal signs of female lust that most men ignore? And by missing them, they walk blindly past the very doorway to power, connection, and control in their love life. These aren't just flirty behaviors, these are signals, biological, emotional, and subconscious, that speak to a woman's deepest desires. And when you, as a man, learn to see them, you stop being confused by mixed signals. You stop second-guessing your worth. You begin to operate with clarity, calm dominance, and unshakable confidence. In this video, we're diving into the 4 signs of lust in women's body language that men always miss. Each chapter is based not only on real psychological and behavioral cues, but grounded in ancient masculine wisdom, timeless understanding of polarity, and the emotional intelligence that separates average men from unforgettable ones. Stick with me until the very end. This may be the one video that forever changes the way you interact with women. Before we begin, drop a comment below. Have you ever felt like a woman wanted you, but her words didn't match her body language? What did you notice? And what confused you? Your story could help a fellow man awaken. And if you're ready to stop operating in the dark and begin leading with power and presence, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with a man who's ready to see the truth. Chapter 1. The lingering gaze. Her eyes will betray her desire. The eyes are not just the window to the soul, they are the most primal radar for desire. And when a woman feels a surge of lust, her eyes linger. They pause a second longer than necessary. They glance back when they think you're not looking. And most importantly, they scan you, not just your face, but your arms, your chest, your hands, and sometimes even lower. Most men miss this because they're either glued to their phones, too self-conscious to hold eye contact, or worse, they interpret it as polite attention. But let's be clear, lust looks different from kindness. When a woman desires you, her eyes are searching for a feeling of safety wrapped in danger. She wants to know, can this man lead me somewhere I haven't been emotionally or physically in a long time? Here's how to tell the difference. A lustful gaze is subconscious. It happens when she doesn't mean for it to. Her pupils may dilate, her blinking slows, and she holds eye contact longer than is socially normal. Sometimes she'll look away quickly, not out of shyness, but to regain control of her inner response. This is not random. In ancient times, the eyes were used in courtship rituals long before words were spoken. In tribal communities, eye contact during ceremonial dances or rituals between men and women was a sacred exchange. The eyes were the place where permission, interest, and longing were revealed without ever speaking. Modern women may not realize it, but their bodies still obey those ancient instincts. As a man, your role is to become conscious of this. The next time you're talking to a woman or even just walking by one, observe, don't stare. Notice, is her gaze soft or analytical? Is she just listening? Or is she feeling your presence? And most importantly, don't flinch. Many men lose their power in these moments by breaking eye contact first or laughing nervously. If you want her to feel your presence as masculine and grounded, hold that moment. Let the silence work for you. Let her feel seen, and in turn, she'll feel drawn to you. You are not chasing, you are inviting by your awareness. Drop a comment below. Have you ever felt a woman's eyes pulling you in, like she was saying something without words? Let's talk about it. Chapter 2. Subtle touches. When accidental isn't an accident. Men often underestimate the language of touch. But when a woman feels a strong pull of desire, her body wants to bridge the gap. She may not even fully understand it herself, but her movements become closer, more frequent, and almost always involve brief, seemingly innocent touches. She might brush against your arm when walking by. Her fingers may accidentally graze your hand when passing you something. She might lean in just a little closer than necessary when talking, as if pulled toward your energy. Here's what most men miss. These moments are deliberate on a subconscious level. A woman's body knows what she wants even when her mind is still debating it. And because society tells women to be modest, to not come off too easy, many of these gestures are hidden in plausible deniability. She can always say it was an accident, but her body knows better. This is why your awareness is everything. Let's take a deeper example. In ancient Greece, physical closeness between a man and a woman often began in ceremonial dances or shared rituals, situations where proximity could be explained by context but still carried heavy meaning. The subtle brush of a hand, the intentional placement of the body near someone, it wasn't just dancing, it was courtship disguised as rhythm. Modern women may not be in temples or rituals, but they're still using proximity as a form of testing. A woman may move closer to see if you can hold your frame, or if you get nervous and pull away. She may touch your wrist lightly, not because she had to, but to see how you react, and when she does this, she's not looking for just physical strength. She's reading your emotional composure. Are you calm, grounded, and unreactive? Do you lean into the moment, or do you second-guess your worth? If you recoil or seem unsure, she might interpret that as weakness. But if you stay centered, if your energy says, "I see what you're doing and I'm unshaken," that, to her, is intoxicating. You become the grounded masculine presence that allows her to feel safe enough to surrender. Remember, touch is not just about skin, it's about energy. When she touches you, even lightly, she's offering a thread of connection. Whether you pull on it or let it fray is up to your awareness. So next time a woman gets a little closer than necessary, don't assume it's nothing. It might be everything. Drop a comment below. Have you ever looked back and realized a woman was trying to get closer to you through touch, but you didn't notice until it was too late? Let's hear your story. Chapter 3. The shifting of her voice and energy. When her feminine essence begins to bloom. This is one of the most overlooked yet deeply revealing signs of a woman's growing lust and emotional attraction. Her voice and energy begin to change around you. Most men don't catch it because it's not as visible as body language or as obvious as touch, but it's there, and when you learn to sense it, you'll never mistake it again. Have you ever noticed how a woman's voice becomes softer, slower, even a little breathy when she's really drawn to a man? It's no accident. This is the sound of her feminine energy awakening, her body moving into a state of openness, readiness, and magnetism. The tone drops, her laughter lingers, and she starts to flow rather than just speak. She becomes more expressive. Her words are filled with emotion, not just information. This is not just flirting, this is surrender in progress. At first glance, it may seem small, but listen deeper. A woman who is physically and emotionally drawn to a man will begin to speak differently around him than she does around others. Her voice becomes more musical, like she's singing her interest into the space between you. Her sentences trail off, creating space for you to lean in. This is her subconscious attempt to make you engage, to create a vacuum only your masculine energy can fill. And it's not just the voice, it's her entire energy. She becomes more feminine, more in her body, more playful, more alive. She may fidget with her jewelry, play with her hair, or tilt her head slightly as she listens to you. These are ancient, almost instinctive behaviors rooted in mating signals that go back to the dawn of human courtship. They were observed in the harems of the East, in the royal courts of Europe, and even recorded in old African and native tribes where women signaled interest not with words, but with softening, with energy that whispered, "I'm open if you're bold enough to notice." This is the moment when many men either rise or fade. You see, most men respond to this shift by either becoming overly eager, leaning in too fast, trying to impress her, or they don't recognize it at all and remain flat, distracted, or in their head. Both reactions kill the polarity, but a man who is grounded in his own presence feels it. He notices the change in her rhythm and he doesn't rush to do anything. He just allows her energy to bloom without pressure, without anxiousness. He becomes the silent flame, and she the moth. Ancient Taoist masters often spoke of the polarity between yin and yang, the dance of feminine softness and masculine stillness. When the feminine becomes fluid, expressive, and radiant, it is the invitation, and the masculine's role is to stay steady, to listen not only with ears, but with presence, to meet her emotional frequency, not with logic, but with awareness. If you can master this moment, you unlock something rare, emotional seduction. It's no longer about lines, looks, or tactics. It's about attunement. And when a woman feels seen and heard, not just intellectually, but energetically, she remembers you forever. So next time her voice slows, when her energy softens, when her playfulness rises, don't brush it off. Don't talk over it. Lean into it with stillness. Let her feel the space you're creating, because that space is where true desire lives. Drop a comment below. Have you ever felt a woman's energy shift completely in your presence, like she dropped into a different version of herself? What did you do in that moment? Chapter 4. When she mirrors you, her subconscious echo of desire. There is a moment, often quiet, often unnoticed, when a woman begins to mirror your movements, your energy, your tone. And this is not coincidence. It is biological resonance. It is her body saying, "I feel safe in your presence. I feel drawn to your frequency. I want to be close, even if I don't fully understand why." Mirroring is one of the final, most telling signs of deep physical and emotional desire. It may start subtly. She takes a sip of her drink just after you take yours. She crosses her legs the same way you do. Her breathing begins to match yours. Her posture aligns. You laugh, and she laughs too, not just at the joke, but because she's connected to your emotional rhythm. This is the body's way of syncing, of saying, we are in tune. And most men are completely blind to it. Why? Because they're too busy analyzing, trying to impress, or wondering what to say next. But the most powerful men, the men who live with presence, observe. They notice when a woman's body starts responding to theirs like a reflection. And they understand this truth. Mirroring is the subconscious form of emotional submission, not in a negative way, but in a way that signals trust, safety, and longing. In the ancient East, Zen masters spoke of being the mountain, unmoving, grounded, calm. When a man becomes like the mountain, the feminine becomes like the wind around it, moving, dancing, adjusting. In such a presence, the feminine softens, and she begins to reflect back the energy she wants to feel more of. In those ancient traditions, mirroring wasn't taught as dating psychology. It was understood as a natural response to the masculine stillness and emotional depth. When a man walked into a room carrying inner peace, emotional gravity, and a lack of neediness, the feminine couldn't help but begin to dance in his orbit. Her movements, her expressions, even her laughter became an echo of his state. That same principle applies today. A woman who mirrors you is showing you something sacred. She's emotionally aligned. She may not admit her feelings. She may still resist, play it cool, or test your strength. But her body, her biology, is speaking truth. And if you're wise, you won't question it. You'll trust what her words might hide, but her body can't suppress. This is where you, as a man, have a choice. Do you escalate too fast? Do you doubt what you're seeing and miss the window? Or do you stay calm, keep leading, and allow her to continue aligning herself with your presence? A masculine man doesn't chase validation from her. He doesn't need constant feedback. He simply observes, adjusts, and stays in his grounded center. He leads not with words, but with energy, and lets her come closer at her own rhythm. And when she mirrors you, it's not just attraction, it's an invitation. It means your presence is strong enough to influence her nervous system. That's power, not domination, but direction. And it means she wants more, maybe more of your touch, maybe more of your attention, or maybe just more of your energy in her life. But understand this, mirroring doesn't happen unless she feels magnetized by your energy. So you must ask yourself, what are you radiating into the space between you and her? Neediness, doubt, desperation, or calm strength, curiosity, and a sense of emotional sovereignty? The choice is yours. And the rewards of awareness are great, because the man who can read mirroring, who can see it, feel it, and honor it without pushing too hard, is the man she remembers, long after the moment has passed, long after other men have faded into noise, because she didn't just hear his words, she felt his energy shift something inside her. Drop a comment below. Have you ever noticed a woman mirroring your body language, your energy, or your tone, and only realized its meaning later? What did you feel in that moment? Let's go deeper together. And now you see, brother, lust doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. It lives in the way her gaze lingers just a moment too long, in the accidental brush of her hand against yours, in the softness that melts into her voice when you speak, and in the way her body begins to mirror your presence like a river following the gravity of a mountain. Most men never learn to read these signs. They walk through life blind to the language that women have been speaking since the beginning of time. Not because women are mysterious, but because men have lost touch with the power of presence, with their ability to feel, to observe, to lead without force, and connect without losing themselves. But you, my brother in the Stoic Golden Tribe, you are not most men. You are awakening to something older than pickup lines, more enduring than temporary charm. You're returning to the root of masculine awareness, to the instinct every man was born with, but most never sharpen. You no longer need to chase, because the moment you begin to see clearly, the moment you stop operating from fear and start moving from grounded truth, women feel it. They feel your depth, they feel your presence, and they begin to respond not with forced words, but with their body, their energy, their feminine essence. That is the power of a man who sees, a man who leads without speaking, a man who listens without needing. And that, my brother, is the path to becoming unforgettable. So if today's video opened your eyes, if you found yourself reflecting on moments you now realize meant more than you thought, don't keep this to yourself. There are men out there lost in confusion, waiting for someone to show them the truth. Drop your thoughts below. What did you realize today that you hadn't seen before? Let's build a space of awakening, not ego. And if you want to keep walking this path of strength, emotional intelligence, and ancient masculine wisdom, like this video, share it with a brother who needs it, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe, because this is just the beginning. Until next time, stand tall, see clearly, lead with stillness. You are not alone in this journey. You are part of a brotherhood, and the world needs your presence more than ever.